Hello and welcome to the IDX Broker Platinum WordPress plugin webinar. My name is Luke Walsh and I've been with IDX for about almost 5 years, and this is the fourth webinar on this topic that I've done, and so I'll give you an overview in a minute, but I just want to do some preliminary, give you some preliminary details. The webinar is recorded. All of our webinars are recorded, and so you'll be able to watch the webinar on our YouTube channel, and that's set up under youtube.com/IDX Incorporated, and that link will be in an email that goes out from GoToWebinars within the next day or two. So you'll receive a copy of the webinar through that, or a link to the YouTube channel and to the webinar that's located there. We record in high def, so you'll be able to skip around, and you should have full visibility of the screen based on the high def recording. So that's pretty high quality recording. I'm not able to slow down for people that have connection problems, so that's why I'm letting you know now that the webinar is recorded. So if for any reason you have to drop out of the webinar, or you have any questions about it, or you have for any other reason you can't be in the webinar, let's say you arrive late, you can always view it later through that link. Now, if you have any questions, please just put those questions into the questions box. You'll find that in the admin screen that pops up under GoToWebinar. And so you should have access to that, and then you can just type a question in, and then with those questions, I'll do my best to address each question as it comes in. Now, if the question doesn't pertain to whatever topic I'm on, I may wait until I arrive at that topic or start talking about it. Otherwise, if it's something that's I can get a really quick answer out, I'll do that. Typically with those questions, what I do is I'll just read off the question and to the entire group. And so if it's something that's account related or something very specific that you don't want announced to the group, or that it doesn't pertain to the group, just if you don't see an answer there right away, that's okay. We'll get back to your question and specifically to any account issues. So who is this for? Who is this webinar for? This is just to help you sort of understand the overall topic of the webinar and where it's going. Now, originally when we posted the link to the webinar, we mentioned that it was turnkey. It isn't just about the turnkey theme. We will cover the turnkey theme in some detail, but it isn't covering the turnkey theme alone. There are several other themes available, but the turnkey theme is definitely one of the favorites, and so I'll try to cover that in a little more detail for those of you that may have received that early link that made it seem as if it was specific to the turnkey theme. Who is this for? So going back to that question, this is really for anybody who's new to WordPress plugins and IDX and how they work. Anybody who has tried other plugins and has been frustrated, or feels like there's some level of coding involved, or it's a challenge. This plugin is set up to be very simple and straightforward, but working with IDX Broker Platinum, it can be as complex as you want it to be. So there are also probably WordPress designers and theme developers on this webinar. For those of you that are, note that there's so much that you can do in terms of integration, and especially if you were to add or create a theme that worked with the plugin as well. And we have several theme providers that do that now, and I'll demonstrate those and point you to some of those pages in a bit. The other group that this is for, and the other segment that's probably on this call, if you may be a current IDX Broker Original client or a Platinum client, and you may be just looking to move to a WordPress solution. So you want something that's that you can manage yourself, that's self-managed. That's one of the things that WordPress provides. And then with that, you would like to self-manage the IDX as well. Now, Typically with WordPress and plugins, the way it works is, the plugin or the theme gets installed. So the WordPress, the theme provider may provide that installation for you, or your website designer may provide that installation for you. And then once it's installed, then it's all about maintenance and management, which is really the easy part. So let's just take a look. We'll start out with the turnkey theme and just show you. I'll point you to the site is themes.agentevolution.com shop/turnkey. And this is just one of their themes that works with IDX Broker Platinum. And it's $49.95. I think it's a one-time fee. And then they have an install service for $200. And then you can, of course, go view the demo. And then from the demo, you can just go see, you can see how it works. Now, to give you a sense for how this works with Turnkey, Turnkey has their property search embedded. They have some of the links embedded, like listings by mail. That's an IDX broker page. So you'll see that this page has been customized to look just, be embedded within the Turnkey theme. And but up here it says agentevolution.idxbroker.com. Now in this case, their example isn't set up under the domain AE themes, and that's something we can probably change for them and help further that integration, because it would demonstrate just how integrated you can get. So this is AE themes, and then when you click on listings by email, so that AE themes page, that's their theme. That's their that's what you would see if you installed their theme and then went to your own site. And then if you click on listings by mail or whatever links you've set up, actually the links would be set up automatically through this theme. Then it goes to agentevolution.idxbroker.com. Now this URL is something that you can change. So you can change that URL to be, let's say, search.yoursite.com, whatever you want it to be. Now this link is an IDX Broker Platinum link. That remains the same up until this point, in which case you can change this URL to be whatever you want. So, and you would do that within IDX Broker. So there's a tremendous amount of customization that you can do once you get the theme and then you install the product. Here's an example of a details page, and they've done a really good job of creating a nice, polished details page using CSS. And this details page is provided by one of the templates, and then they apply CSS custom style sheets to this page in order to, whoops, I zoomed out of the map there, to this page in order to display it the way they want. And then, so what you have is you have the option here with their theme. Let's go back. There. Whoops. So with their theme, you have the option of having them install it, and then you pay the $49.95 as well. And then you basically have, IDX Broker Platinum and Turnkey installed. Now I do have a question here to address regarding the subdomains. Can it be? It's a question about whether it needs to be on a subdomain, and the answer is yes, it does need to be on a subdomain. Whether the subdomain is idxbroker.com, most people probably won't want that, and we don't recommend it. We recommend that you set up your own subdomain, and there's a good article on how to do that in our knowledge base, or you can have your designer do it. But it does have to be on a subdomain, and it's not going to show up in a subfolder. Now, there's been a lot of debate over, whether subfolders or subdomains are better. Google has really specified that there really is no difference. So whether you have a subdomain or a subfolder, either way, you're building pages and content that is credited to you. Now, subdomains and primary domains get indexed together within Google and other search engines. So the search engines treat in fact, www is considered a subdomain. So, you'll have your non-www website, that's a domain, and then www is a subdomain. So people they're already using subdomains without even knowing it. This is just a scenario where because it's hosted on IDX Broker Platinum, you have to use the subdomain, and it can't be installed on the folder. And the reason for that is because of just the sheer volume of features that are available when we do that, and it gives you many more features and options that can't be replicated within WordPress. The other side of it, the other reason for it, is because of speed. Typically, WordPress is fairly slow when it comes to database queries. We're actually in the midst of a major upgrade from MySQL queries to a new system that will make it even faster than it already is. So we're focusing on speed, and that's just not something that you can replicate within WordPress, or if you're calling query or code from WordPress, it's never going to be quite as fast as something that's a proprietary load or a proprietary server that's hosted on the cloud, like our solution is, the Platinum solution. So in terms of, let me just make sure I addressed all the questions here. A few more are rolling in. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about, there was another question here about plugins and Turnkey. I would contact Agent Evolution about Turnkey if you want to go that route. They'll have more info and knowledge about anything regarding hosting, plugins that work with it elsewhere, and other things. So so I'm going to jump now to whoops, looks like we've got a logo missing on this one. It could be my browser. So this one is called WP Chromium, and it's wpchromium.jccyber.com. And this one is similar, search, and then he sells the. This is actually the. Let's see what we have here on this. Yeah, I'm going to skip this one. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that this was the old. He's got an old site here, but this is a theme developer, and it looks like he's reverted to the original. So if you're interested in the original version, most people on this call probably aren't, but that would be one to look at, the WP Chromium. Now another one here is Realty Candy, and before I go any further, just if there are any theme developers on this call, please let us know if you would like to be included in the next webinar, and we can certainly do that. We try to cover the theme providers that are really directing the most business, and give them some attention. So, but we're certainly open to reviewing other theme providers as well. So this one is Realty Candy, and this is a company that really started with Platinum at a very early stage, along with Agent Evolution. Started with when Platinum was in beta, and have really leveraged a lot of the Platinum features, the mobile features. And that's something I didn't mention as well on the Turnkey. Turnkey is a responsive theme, and so what that means is that it leverages the mobile feature set within IDX Broker Platinum, and that feature set is essentially that if you were to go to, let's say you have an email update that goes out to a client, and then that email contains an IDX page that's a detail page, right? So if I go to the demo, and then I go here, and it's a detail page. If I were to change that, and let's take a look at iOS in the iPhone and see what happens. So this isn't doing the picture justice, but this is how it looks. This is how it would look on an iPhone. Okay, so that's responsive, and that what that theme gives you is it gives you this ability to, as the width changes, and then this is set to a minimum width that's basically the iPhone width. All those details pages look really sharp. They look really nice on the phone, and then you, of course, picture using your finger to scroll through here. And then if you want more information about the listing, or the person does, and they type in here, and they type in with their with their finger on their phone. So, and then up here, if they tap that, that's your phone number from the account, from the IDX Broker account. So it will go right to right to their phone. It'll dial the number. So this gives you the ability to send out those emails, but have them go out in a really polished way, and that's what is meant by this responsive bit. So now this is back to the desktop, right? So I'm using a mask filter in Chrome here. It's called Chrome UA Spoofer, and it allows me to look at it in different modes. So this is back to the desktop mode. So that happens automatically. That means that you don't need to have an app unless you want one, in which case you could go out and get one. But this creates a scenario where someone comes to your site and they can bookmark your site, and you can encourage them to bookmark the site on their phone, and they can come back and view it, and it'll be mobile optimized. So very, very powerful option there. Now, Turnkey offers that. There's also Realty Candy also has that built into some of their themes as well. And so you can take a look here. There's some themes down here. They have a premium theme. They have installation for $199. So this is another option for you. And then you can go through here and take a look at. It looks like they've set up SMS as well. So they're doing some things with our API as well. And as these theme providers get more and more integrated, you're going to find just more and more resources available that are leveraging the API available in IDX Broker Platinum. So let's see, we have another. I have a question here, and this is probably a good one for a transition until, actually, let me just, I'll talk briefly, show you the examples page, and then I'll address this question. So this is the examples page, and on the examples page, it's idxbroker.com/examples. And here you'll see WordPress. You'll see a little WordPress icon. Those are the examples that are WordPress based. So you'll be able to see which ones are WordPress based, and then down below you'll see, designed by so-and-so. So if you go to the examples page or bookmark that, you'll be able to see that, look at that after the webinar. So I have a quick question before I get into the details of the plugin, and yes, I'll get into both the system and also the admin of the plugin, or within WordPress. There's a question about, there's QR codes and business cards. The business cards and QR codes, that's an offline aspect that can be used really with any system. It is system agnostic. So anything, if you can create a QR code for any URL. So once you have the URL, you can create a QR code. So to answer that question regarding QR codes. So here with Platinum, I'll show you. This is how you'll find it. You just basically go to the plugins page and then type in IDX Broker Platinum, and then it'll take you here, and then you can download the version here, or you can download it, if you know how to do that, you can do it from here, from the plugins tab. So you can add new and then find the plugin that way, and then install it. So once you've installed it, you'll want to go to settings and then IDX Broker Platinum, and I'm on that page right now. At the top, you'll see a few different plugin settings pages. You'll see a few links. The knowledge base, you'll see the login to the control panel, and the contact IDX Broker. Now, there currently is no demo available, so this will appear, some of this stuff will appear after you are live with the account. There is a demo site. I'll point you to a demo site that once the call is over, that you can go to, where you can test it out. So it is possible to test it out on your own installation. Just keep in mind that the API key that you use when you do that will be that demo is being refreshed, so or reset every day. So it is a demo, but it's something that we would prefer that you call us, and then we can answer any questions that you may have about the product. Just because it's not set up to be a seamless demo for WordPress itself. A lot of people get into that demo and test things out and try things out. We're working right now on creating additional demos and trials so that people can do that, and there isn't people won't be stepping on others' feet when they're in there looking at that demo info. So in terms of the links, you've got the links at the top, and then the API key. So the API key is available when you get your account, your new account. You'll receive an API key in that email. Now you can also see it from when you log into your account. This is IEX Broker Platinum, and then you go to Home, and then you go to API Key Control. You'll also have it there, right? So you can create it there. You can also create new keys. So that's where you would do it within the demo if you want to test it out with the demo. So going back, I plugged the API key in here. I hit refresh plugin options, and what that does is it pulls everything that's stored in this account, including widgets that are created automatically. A bunch of these are automatic widgets. They're created. You can preview them. These are created by default when your account is created. All these are available within the WordPress plugin because the system is pulling from this, using this API key, pulling in all the widgets, pulling in all the system navigation, and then pulling in any custom links. Okay, so that's how it works. It's essentially pulling in links and widgets code into your WordPress site or blog, and then giving you options, ways to add the links to your navigation or add the widgets to your sidebar or wherever you want to add the widgets, maybe even to a page. And through shortcodes. We also offer shortcodes, and I'll get into that at the very end. So once you've done this, then you go to step 2. And step 2 is add your widgets. So you can just click to your widgets tab from here. Okay. And in this case, I've already created a couple widgets, and I believe, yeah, it's right there. So what I've done is I've taken this featured showcase widget from over here, and I put it in right there. Okay. And now it automatically saves that widget, and you'll see that there are a bunch of widgets in here, like featured agent, lead sign, map search, quick search. I don't know, these are test widgets, I think. Sold pending. So if you have any listings that were archived, you can set them as either sold or pending. So if they're your own listings, and that can show up as a widget. You'll be able to put these in the posts themselves as well. I'll show you how to do that. But this is just for the sidebar, footer, really whatever your theme controls. So in this case, this is Genesis AgentPress. So the theme, if I put it under footer 1, it'll show up in the footer, and I'll show you how that looks. So if I go to visit site, open a new tab, and of course you can tab back and forth, or if you have 2 different screens, you can you can use the 2 different screens for that. So here's the featured showcase. So here I have the featured showcase, and the reason that's showing up down at the bottom now is that because I put it in that footer 1 area. Now I could put another one. I could put quick search in there if I wanted to, but you just drag and drop it in and go from there. So I'll address a couple of quick questions here while I'm in here. The featured agent widget is not available unless you have an Office account, because what it does is it just highlights an agent randomly. So it'll go through and round robin style go through the different agents. And so if you're running an Office, you could feature it that way. Now, if you have the team account, you could use it because you get the same features that you would with an Office. So the difference between the Office and the team and the agent accounts has to do with the agents, agent codes available. So Platinum allows you to have any number of Office codes attached, but you must choose an agent, if you have an agent account, you must choose one agent. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your agent code, but you have to choose an agent code. If you have the team account, you get 2. If you have the Office 3 to 10 account, you get 3 to 10 agents that you can choose, and then those would then show up in that featured agent area. And then also you would have all the just be able to display all the listings for all those agents. A lot of great questions coming in now. So the sold pending, I covered that. I talked about that just a minute ago. This widget, I'll cover that a little bit here in a minute. The sold pending is basically, it's available in all accounts. And what it gives you is the ability to, for your listings, you can set it as sold or pending. It's pretty straightforward. Now, there's also a supplemental tab. So if you have any listings that, let's say you sold those prior to signing up for IDX Broker Platinum, you can also add those in, and then you can feature those as well. So a lot of flexibility there. And then, can I use the featured showcase widget to showcase certain latest homes or condos showing up within the last 3 or 4 days? Yes, absolutely. And I'll get into the control panel in IDX Broker to show you how to do that. The important thing that I want you to take away from this piece, the admin within WordPress, is just how WordPress works with the control panel and works with IDX Broker Platinum. And then once you get a sense for that, then we can get into the control panel. So I'll dig into that a little bit in a bit here. So this is these are the widgets. I've created a widget. I've got a featured widget and a search and a quick search on the side there as well. So let's go back here. I think it's primary sidebar. Yeah, that's it. So in this case, we have AgentPress. Primary sidebar is where you drag and drop widgets. So I can, let's say I want quick search to be below featured slideshow. Well, right now it's not. And then if I hit F5, you'll see that they should swap. See now, so I've swapped it just by doing the drag and drop. Okay, so that's the flexibility that you have. You can create all these. You have a set default number of widgets in Platinum, and then you can create any new widgets. And then when you refresh the API key in the settings page, in WordPress, those widgets will all show up here, and so you can put them wherever you want. So that is the, let's go back here. That is the settings. That is an overview of the widgets and how that step 2 works. Now step 3 is a little bit different and involves first adding pages that are all default pages, and then adding any, really, I would do step 2, step 3, and step 4 at the same time. You can basically create, if you have any custom links, you can put those, you have bank-owned listings or Eugene Home Search. You have these pages, mortgage calculator. I'm just selecting a few here. I click Save Changes. So that's what I want to do first. 3 and 4, I'll save changes. And what that does is it adds these pages, these page links, to your WordPress database. So now these links are available within the database. Now what you need to do is go to the menus area. And many of you may be familiar with this page and how this works. And now you'll see all these pages are now available to me, right? Most recent, or I can do a view all if I don't see them in most recent. So if I want Eugene Home Search, I add to my menu, and I've already got a menu here. This is my main menu. Now here I want Eugene Home Search to show up here on the menu. So you'll see if I go to that test page, you'll see Advanced Search, Springfield Home Search, and Harlow. Now that I've created this menu, I should have Eugene Home Search in there as well. I just have to make sure that I save the menu. Okay, so you still have to manage the menus within WordPress, and you still need to come in here and find the links that have been added to your database. But that's how it works. It essentially, the plugin will add the links to your database, and then that will show all those pages as pages here, and then you can add those pages as links. And what happens is, if I go here, and then I hit F5. F5 is a little easier than moving up here and hitting the reload refresh button. So there. So now Eugene Home Search shows up right there. Okay, so now I have my new link in the navigation. Now if I click on that link, well, I'm not sure why that that link should be working. That could be an old link from our Platinum database. It's probably not a great example. If I click on the advanced search, that link works, and then that takes me to the advanced search page. Okay, so that gives me the ability to, I can add any page, and this is a page dynamically created by IDX Broker Platinum. Okay, and you'll see that the quick search and the sidebar are all the same there. So that is, we're almost done now with how it works within WordPress, and then I'll get into the Platinum control panel here in a minute. So the other item that you're going to want to know about, it's either posts or pages. If you want to do posts, you could add a new post. And with the posts, you have a screen called Visual. Okay. If let's say you have something that you want to add that's it's listings in such and such an area, and you want to display a featured widget for that listing, or that shows 3 or 4 of those listings, and it's a widget, and you've created the widget in Platinum. So first of all, you want to create the widget in Platinum, and you could it's pretty straightforward. It takes about a minute. Create the widget, and then you would go back to your API, refresh the API, come in here, and then type whatever you want, and then insert the widget. So you've got widgets here, and you can insert your featured widget or features, whatever slideshow, whatever custom widget you want. Now, some people you could put a map search in there. You could do a map search widget. Those are available as well. You could even do a saved link. So let's say you're writing a story about Eugene Holmes, and then you want to insert a saved link. You can do that from this visual bar, and then by inserting Eugene Holmes search within that paragraph. So yeah, so that's how you would do a an insert, and that's a short code. That's all these are short codes basically. So that is that really sums up what you do within WordPress. The rest is managed by, let me close these windows. The rest is going to be managed within Platinum. So you'll get your Platinum credentials, and you'll get access to it. First of all, you'll get a dashboard. It'll show you a bunch of things, features and notices, traffic, navigation, any email updates that went out, and then a link to the mail center, tips and tricks. The notifications page is where we update with new developments as we're adding new things, and we are constantly adding new things. We're on a agile sprint cycle, and so we are typically within 3 to 4 weeks we're launching new features. So you should see new stuff happening all the time. Here's your traffic page, and you can group by domain or full refer. And then, of course, the API control. We talked a little bit about that. Going back here, this is the page help area. So you'll see this. You won't see this on every page, every tab, but we're working to add that help to every tab, and then it creates a little drop down, and then you can click to the knowledge base article that's relevant. So going back here, traffic stats. Actually, I apologize. So I have a question here about the Mail Center. I was looking for that link. So the Mail Center, I'll cover that in a minute. That's where you can track all of the mail that goes out. So you have a lot of detail about each account. So let's go there. So this is the Message Center. In this case, it's called Mail Center there, but it's Message Center. And it's essentially, in this case, we don't have any because it's the demo account, the test account that we try to keep clean. But if you were logged in and you had emails going out, you could expand on the email, and it would show you the details of the email and when it went out. So if somebody says, oh, I never received an email, you can come back in here and look at when the system sent an email out to one of your clients. So you have a lot of info there. Account notes, anything that the system has added to your account. You can manage contacts. You can manage billing info from here. There's an upgrade center. There's an upgrade center here where you can add new blocks, additional blocks of agents. So if you have, this one's 51 to 100 agents. This recurring total includes all the listings or the feeds that are attached. It's I believe it's $98.99 for the 3 to 10 agent account, and then it's another $39.99 on top of that. But you can upgrade automatically, and it'll tell you your amount when you upgrade. So let's say you start out as a team account and then you want to upgrade. You can easily do that from within the system. Going back to the message center, and I have a question here from somebody about whether you could send and receive emails from IDX Broker Platinum. That's actually done through other systems. So there are some CRMs that work with IDX Broker Platinum. I'll talk about a little bit about that later. It isn't built to be a CRM. You can send things like a lead's email and password. You can send an agent's email and password from the system. You can send email updates for any new listings. If there's a price change for a listing, and I'll get into leads in a minute, if there's a price change for a listing, you can send out, the system will automatically send that. So there's some automatic things that will be sent, and then there's usernames and passwords that can be sent. But aside from that, it's not set up to be a CRM tool, and that's why we work with other. We've worked with other CRM providers to fill that gap. Account notes. Again, I covered that. I covered upgrade. Let's go to account info is where you would change. You could set up your custom domain, and then if you set up your custom domain, it'll actually check it for you. So that's pretty helpful. And then you can change any info you have. Change password, that one's obvious. So now let's go to preferences and start with the global preferences. And also just keep in mind that anytime you have a question or you're lost or whatever, you can always go to the knowledge base and then just perform a search there. And you can perform a search in the knowledge base, look for an article. If you can't find the article or there's not something written about the topic, you can contact our support team. We do our best to give you the most information possible. We also have support available for all clients Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and our typical wait times are less than a minute on the phone calls. And then you can also send in an email, and we do our best to get back within 24 hours. So global preferences here, and these are little help icons. Some of these don't have a lot of information. Most of them have a knowledge base article attached to them. So you've got various things here that you can do with the global preferences. Set up search page links. So these are if I add all search pages, this is what shows up in the navigation for each search page. So I can show advanced search, listing ID, and then that will show up in the sub-navigation, right above all of searches and so on. So there's a lot you can do. You can set the default min and max. There's a tremendous amount here. I do have somebody is asking here if it's possible to watch a replay. For those of you that joined late and didn't hear it, yes, we're recording the webinar, so you'll be able to review it on YouTube later. And that link will go out in the email within 24 to 48 hours. So here we have results. There's a lot of, I won't cover all the minutia of what can be fine-tuned, just to say that it's a lot. You can set the map to refresh automatically on the map search so that you don't have to hit refresh, or the user doesn't have to hit refresh. That's a popular feature. There's also a feature called pin clustering that allows you for desktop or mobile, that allows you to cluster. So now if you go and let's say if you have a map search or you have any other search page, I'm going to go to designs and pages and show you how that works. And I click on that. let me go back here. Now there's the clustering. Okay, so now there's a clustering mechanism here where it'll cluster, and then as you zoom in, it'll cluster appropriately, or you can click on an individual house. So the clustering allows you to basically see a lot more properties per map search. It was previously set at 50, and now I believe it's 500. So you've got map settings there, and actually I have a quick question here to address regarding map and details pages. WalkScore is available, and we have a premium subscription with them, so there are no ads or anything in those details page, WalkScore details page maps. You can find that here under details and then WalkScore. Just choose that. You could put in your WalkScore key or just leave the key that's in there and then save changes. So your properties, this just gives you the control over the featured properties and the sold pending properties and supplemental properties, what you want to show on that results page. Email settings is another. This one's great. So you can send from, set up a from address, and then you can also carbon copy. Let's say you have, you have an admin, or you have somebody the brokers ask for information, or you need more information. You can carbon copy the summary and then set the carbon copy address for all email updates that go out to clients. Okay. You can send a sample email update just so you can look at it and see how it looks. And then you can modify the email signature. Now there's some other things down here that are available. This one's probably the most used, and that's a CC and a BCC. So on the BCC, anytime there's an email update, anytime there is a new lead and a new lead notification, in some cases, some people use Salesforce, or I believe it's Property Base is what it's called. And BCC, they want to BCC their own email address and send that lead into their system. You can do that with this. Or if you just, if you're a broker and you want to be BCC'd on all lead notifications to make sure that you're in the loop, you can do that here. So share this is available as well. Share this is, if you want to add a publisher key, you can do that. And then that just gives you the ability to use the share this tool, so sharing on Facebook and so on the details page. Mobile wrappers are, you can either use the mobile wrappers or not. Mobile wrappers essentially give you, it's the responsiveness. So we recommend that typically you leave those on, and then you can detect tablets as mobile device. So maybe, do you want the tablet to show a responsive page or not? And I won't get into all the details of all that. There's just so much that can be done here. But I will say that when you first set up an account, you should add a logo, because that's what shows up in the responsive mobile pages. It's also what shows up in the results for any of your featured listings. So we want to do that. You can create your own city lists, your own county lists, your own zip code lists, and then you can apply those to specific pages. So you can create pages, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. This is the saved links area. With the saved link, you can create any kind of link. You can create a link or just edit the existing link. In this case, this is a good example. This is a Polygon search link. So you have Harlow neighborhood, and then we have Polygon search, and I'll show you what it looks like. Note that any of these links that you create within IDX Broker Platinum, they're going to show up. They're going to show up within WordPress. So when I go here, I've created a Polygon search, and this is great for, let's say, the MLS is really not providing great data, neighborhood data, and you want to define a neighborhood. In this case, we've got a little bit of overlap on the road here, but you could zoom in a little further and then just focus on this specific neighborhood, and then create a search page based on that neighborhood. What that gives you is the ability to define your own neighborhood and create a more accurate neighborhood results page, and then give that the name of the neighborhood, right? So you created a very specific neighborhood page. You can create a bank-owned listings results. You could do that. Here's an example of that. And again, once you create one of these, they show up within WordPress when you hit the API key refresh. Now you just click Create Link, and then you choose your page. Okay, you could even do a map search link. You could do it by listing ID. You could do it by advanced search. If I do it by advanced search, it'll pull in all the fields from the MLS. And then let's say if I want to feature waterfront listings only, then I click on that, and then I save it, and I call it waterfront listings. So it creates a lot of built-in content for you. If you're willing to go through here and build these links, you can create we've had some very successful clients that have built out just a ton of links and then embedded those links within WordPress and have been very successful with that. Featured ID is where you would choose your agent ID. So you would choose yourself out of the list provided by your office, and that's how your listings then show up on that feature listings page. Another great feature available is that you can take the MLS info and the property types. You can set the default min and max. You can expand and hide subtypes if you'd like. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of flexibility and customization that just would not be available if this was all done within WordPress. You can hide a property type. So let's say you don't work on, you don't focus on multifamily or you're only focused on residential. You don't want commercial in there. Just set this, and it'll apply to that feed. Okay, so you have a tremendous amount of customization there. More customization here on the core fields. You can rename them if you'd like. And then if you'd like to rename the MLS fields as well for your page, you can do that if you want it to be more accurate or just be clearer for people. So that's the Preferences tab. And we haven't even moved halfway through the product and what's available. But this is, for those of you that may look at this and say, there's just so much here, I'm a little bit intimidated. Just keep in mind that, that's the whole idea behind the WordPress plugin. It's designed to make it very easy for you to just, out of the box, get started. And then as time goes on, and we encourage you as time goes on to learn the product, learn more about the product, learn how to use it, learn how to leverage it so that you are really taking everything to the next level. And that requires a little bit of commitment on your part. It definitely requires that some monthly time spent or every few months on just updating things or keeping things fresh. So here we have search pages. Now you can actually create a search page. It's a little bit hidden from view, but you can go in and you've got all the default search pages. You can also choose, from a new search page, give it a page name, give it a URL, and then multiple search if you want. And then once you created that page, let's go back, and I'll edit an existing page. So let's say I want to edit advanced search. So I've created I've created the search page, standard. So let's choose standard. Now it's going to choose that, and actually I'm sorry, I meant to go to preferences. So that's where I'm going to edit. So I'll edit the preferences. I could change the URL if I want. I could change, this is where I can apply a city list. So let's say I built my city list or county list. I want to apply a custom county list. Search setup allows me to, if I have advanced filters, or let's say I want to hide certain things. The status doesn't show up. I want to hide that. I can do that here. Now, if I go to the data fields page here, I can choose the MLS, choose type, and I can come in here and I can do this, and I've already done this already. But if I want a default, I can set the default, or I can set a hidden value. So I can set the default to yes, or I can just hide it, apply it, and then it says hidden values here, and that field won't even show up on that page. It'll just filter everything on this page, all the results. Anybody that when somebody searches, it'll filter by only bank owned. So it gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility there. So that's Pages. I won't cover everything available in Pages. You can go to Page Help, and there's a great knowledge base article about it that gives you a walkthrough. I'll go to widgets here, and the widgets are, you've got all these widgets by default. You can add a new widget. You've got a map search widget that can be added. You can set the default zoom, height, width, and that can be added to any page on your default domain. So whatever your domain is, you can add it to that. Now, I won't cover wrappers much or custom CSS. That's more of an advanced feature. Subheaders, same. I'll cover leads here briefly, and then I'll kind of burn through the leads and listings and users. We don't have a lot of time, and I want to talk just briefly about the SEO aspects. So leads, here you have leads. You can do something called, it's a status change called create account. And so if you get a new lead in, and they don't have an account, they might just have signed up or filled out a form, and they've requested info, but they don't have an account. They don't have a username and login. You can actually click this and then create an account for it. It creates an account for them and then sends them a username and password. So you're getting them more engaged. That's a little known feature available, and you can see all the activity as well for these people. You can see notes. You can see any activity around the save searches, save properties. If they've saved a search or saved a property and then new information comes up or appears in the MLS, note that we're updating the MLSs at least every 12 hours on IDX Broker Platinum. We're going to work up to doing that much more frequently, starting with probably every 6 hours very soon. So we've got that information is then sent out typically within the next day. So that doesn't happen every time there's an update, but in the next day. So lead registration preferences, you can set that if you want to do that, and you can set that, customize a thank you page. There's a lot you can do that. Round robin routing, you can set that up. Listings, you can control your listings, and you can add your own photos. You can edit data. You can change. This is a popular one. So let's say the MLS sometimes provides data. I'm not sure why this map isn't showing, but you can change. This map would allow you to change the latitude and longitude. So you could actually drop the pin, move the pin, and then save it, and it would store that new area or that new geocode. Sold pending listings, you can set to sold or pending here, sold pending or contingent. So this is where you set it, and then it shows up on the sold pending page. And then supplementals, any new listings that you might have that you want to add, you can add in here. You just click on supplemental, create, and then choose your MLS for where the listing was stored, and it'll pull some of the fields from that MLS, and then you can fill in those fields. This is for off-market, anything sold. That's typically how people use that. Syndication is it gives you the RSS feed for your listings, and then it feeds automatically to Trulia, and then you've got some other options here as well. Just enable, disable. Trulia feeds automatically. These other ones you have to create an account for them with them, and then supply them with the link once the feed is updated. Users, you can control your agents, manage your agents. You can send them their password if you want to. You can view their bio. You can edit their bio. You can see when they've logged in, and you can on offices you can create an office. And one thing I do want to touch on just very briefly, and again before I get into the SEO piece, is that there is a widget for those of you that have offices. There is a widget. I'm not sure why I'm having trouble finding it. So there's a widget for offices that's called Featured Agent, and this is very powerful. So you can call this the agent, whatever agent that is. I'll just type in T. And oh, I'm sorry. Again, let me go back. I'm confusing the featured agent with the featured properties. So I've got slideshow, properties to feature, featured agent properties is what I meant to click. And then I choose an agent, and then I give it the widget a name, and it's only the properties for that agent. So if I have an office, I can send this widget to the agent, and they can just plug it onto put it on their page, and it'll show off their properties. And if somebody links on it, it'll go back to my office or brokerage. So I do have a request to, over the next few minutes, just kind of talk about the SEO piece, and then I won't unfortunately have time for the CSS. There's a lot to talk about with CSS. I would advise that if you, on the CSS side, if you're struggling or you need help from a designer with CSS, then you could call our support line, get the designer on the phone call, and then we can work through, our support team can kind of work through things with the designer. That would be what I would advise for that. If I go to account info, CRM integration, I didn't cover that. Let me go to leads. A couple things I need to cover here. CRM integration, leads, lead registration preferences, push all leads to top producer. If you have a top producer account, you can set that up. Push all leads to Tribus Group. Tribus has a CRM as well, and then set up your user ID and save changes. Both of those platforms integrate pretty well, effectively. There's another resource that we haven't added in just yet for Real Pro Systems, and their system communicates very effectively with their lead system communicates very effectively with Platinum. So they're another account to look up, a company to look up, Real Pro Systems. So going back here, let's talk about the SEO. So from an SEO standpoint, once you create that custom subdomain, again, you're creating a link that, let's take a look. You're creating a link that has that new domain in it. And so this isn't a great example here, but this would be your domain, and then you could type in, use search.yourdomain.com, and then what it does is, by creating these custom links and custom search pages, or even editing the existing search pages, you can use keywords in these URLs. Okay. Now for each search page as well, these custom searches, you can edit the title tags, you can edit the all the meta tags. You have full control over that. And what we recommend is when it comes to WordPress and when it comes to creating these links, there are two different ways to do it. You could either create a post and then have all that content on your own site. That's fine. We're not attached to you. We're not attached to you using IDX Broker Platinum exclusively for custom links and so on. But you should build those custom links, and then with those custom links, you could just refer to those custom links from your new post. So in the post itself, you put in a bunch of content that's, this is on your site, and then on your primary domain, and then link to that custom link. Now that custom link will then get linked or get indexed, and then if somebody happens to come in through that custom link, because the page is your wrapper, your design is integrated with that page, people will have access to that navigation. This is why it's so much better than framing, for any of you that have used framing in the past. And they'll click on that link, and it'll send people right back to your home page and your primary domain. So you're actually getting a backlink from that subdomain to the primary domain. And then over time, the two domains work together. And that adds up to an overall domain value or domain values. And your score, your score for that domain, your perceived score with the search engines will eventually go up, and there should be very little dilution going on there between the two domains. I think that sometimes that whether it's on the subdomain or in the folder gets is sort of a distraction from the fact that what you really need to do is just create a lot of great content. You could do it all on your primary domain and just link to the custom searches, the custom saved searches. So there's a lot that can be done. You could also, you can create content here and then put a map search at the bottom. You're just leveraging the IDX platform to, create that good indexable content. So there are just so many. I could do an entire webinar on just the SEO features. So again, I can't get much further beyond that with some of the details, but and we do have some webinars available in YouTube as well that will give you some of that information. So for those of you that may have had questions and I wasn't able to answer them, or questions that I couldn't address in the webinar, we'll definitely get back to you. And yes, we'll definitely do a webinar on SEO. I'm sure that will be in high demand, so we might just add that to the next month's webinar circuit. And then if you have any feedback, if you want a webinar on a specific topic, or there's something that you really need to know, definitely let us know. Just send to webinars@idxbroker.com, and we'll get that set up and scheduled. So thank you for attending this webinar, and we appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, if you have an account with us, you can always call our support, or you can email support if you'd like. If you don't have an account with us, you can go here and then check out the board list, the MLS list, and it'll tell you the latest on the MLS, on your specific MLS, and then you can give us a call.